Expand your vocabulary with our core 2,000 words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free French ebook before it's gone.
Top 10 must-know phrases for the restaurant. Let's begin. Oh my gosh, again food, I'm so hungry! Une table pour trois, s'il vous plaît. Une table pour trois, s'il vous plaît. A table for three, please. Actually, I used that a lot when I was in Italy. But it was a tavole por tre, per favore? A tavola por tre, per favore? Anyways, you can use this phrase when making a reservation. You can change the number depending on how many people are with you. For example, to reserve a table for two, you can say une table pour deux, s'il vous plaît. Une table pour deux, s'il vous plaît. Pour une table pour un, for a table just for one, you will say une table pour un. Le menu, s'il vous plaît. Le menu, s'il vous plaît. The menu, please. Use this when you can see the menu on the table or the waiter forgot to bring one. This happens a lot. J'aimerais ceci, s'il vous plaît. J'aimerais ceci, s'il vous plaît. I'd like this dish, please. You can say this while indicating on the menu. It may come in handy if you're not sure how to pronounce a dish name. Yeah, I use that a lot myself, especially for Japanese food. Sans oignon, s'il vous plaît. Sans oignon, s'il vous plaît. Without onions, please. If you don't like something, you should memorize this. You can refer to anything else by substituting oignon with a different noun. For example, if you want to order a beverage without ice, you can say sans glaçons, s'il vous plaît. Sans glaçons, s'il vous plaît. Sans tomate, without tomatoes. Sans tomate. Pourriez-vous m'apporter du sel? Pourriez-vous m'apporter du sel? Can you please bring me the salt? Yeah, American people love salt. I don't know why, because I don't. You can use this phrase to ask for seasonings such as salt or pepper or a missing tableware. Excusez-moi. Excusez-moi. Excuse me. Use this to call the waiter's attention. Excusez-moi. While trying to make eye contact. Sometimes they might ignore you, unfortunately. Où sont les toilettes? Où sont les toilettes? Where is the bathroom? This may turn useful in any situation, not only when you are at a restaurant. For example, if you are in the street and ask, où puis-je utiliser les toilettes? Where can I use restrooms or bathroom? Qu'est-ce que ce plat contient? Qu'est-ce que ce plat contient? What does this dish have in it? If you have allergies, you have to learn this question to make sure you can fully enjoy your meal. Yes, sometimes at restaurants they ask you if you have any allergies, but sometimes they don't, so please make sure to ask. Est-ce que c'est possible de payer séparément? Est-ce que c'est possible de payer séparément? Is it possible to pay separately? You can ask this question when paying the bill and if you want to split the amount. For example, when you go out with your friends, you can ask for a separate bill, right? Donc, l'addition séparée? L'addition, s'il vous plaît. L'addition, s'il vous plaît. The bill, please. When you are ready to leave the restaurant, use this phrase to ask for the bill. It's common to pay at the table, and though you are not expected to give a tip, it is always a kind gesture to leave some loose change. Yeah, in America, you are expected to do so. In France, not really. But you can give like 1 or 2 euros, you know?
10 phrases to survive at the station, because it's pretty hard in there. It's the jungle. J'aimerais aller à. I'd like to go to. J'aimerais aller à. I would like to go to. Then put the name of the place. Whether it's a city, if you're taking the train, or if it's a metro, you might want to know more precise location. So, if you can find someone at the ticket counter, just ask, J'aimerais aller à, and then they will give you the directions. Est-ce la bonne plateforme pour? Is it the right platform for? Est-ce la bonne plateforme pour? Is it the right platform for? Place. So if the station is really big, you will have a lot of platforms. And sometimes it might get confusing, so you might want to ask if you're on the right place. And if it's a metro, for example, or a tramway, they go both directions, so you want to be sure you are on the right side of the platform to get the right direction, or else you would go the other way, and it can get tricky. À quelle heure est le dernier train? What time is the last train? À quelle heure est le dernier train? What time is the last train? This question sounds so Japanese. If it's a big normal train, they may have trains all day and sometimes even night trains. And if you are talking about a metro or tramway train, then depending on the cities, sometimes they finish later, but around midnight is a good safe spot for the last train, so try to get them before midnight. Sometimes they have some after, but that's mostly in bigger cities, so you don't want to take that risk. Où puis-je changer pour? Where do I change for? Où puis-je changer pour? Where can I change for? Place. I didn't change at the proper spot and ended up 250 kilometers away from where I was supposed to be. Ah, whoopsie. Be sure to check that. And be sure also to have enough time before trains to change. If you're going from a big train to a big train and going through a big train station, or even through a big city, sometimes they have many train stations, so you need enough time to go from one station to another. So be careful with that. Où est la gare? Where is the train station? Où est la gare? Where is the train station? Where is the train station? This is not a sentence to survive at the station, because you're not in the station, you're looking for it. Ask your local policeman. Train stations are usually indicated, so they should be easy to find, but if you don't know, just ask anyone, really. Où est-ce que je peux acheter un billet? Where can I buy a ticket? Où est-ce que je peux acheter un billet? Where can I buy a ticket? If you're going abroad from France, sometimes you will have to queue at the ticket counter to get your ticket. Usually people speak English. Où sont les distributeurs automatiques de billets? Where are the ticket machines? Où sont les distributeurs automatiques de billets? Where are the ticket machines? In the station, they are a bit everywhere. Est-ce que ce bus va à? Does this bus go to? Est-ce que ce bus va à? Does this bus go to? Place? You can ask this to the driver of the bus, because sometimes, again, the map for all the bus routes can be pretty tricky to understand, and you cannot really be sure if you are on the right side of the road to take the right bus in the right direction. So you should ask your bus driver if you're not sure. Où est l'arrêt de bus? Where is the bus stop? Où est l'arrêt de bus? Where is the bus stop? Depending on the city, you will have many bus lines, so you want to find the right bus stop for the right bus line. So if you find a bus stop, it may not be your right line, so be sure to check that too. Le train a du retard. The train's running late. Le train a du retard. The train is running late. It is indeed. Mostly buses are late in France. Trains are okay-ish. They can depart on time. Don't expect them to be really precise. But still be on time just in case it leaves on time this one time. That was a lot of time. Timey time.
Top 10 phrases tourists should never use. Let's begin. C'est dégoûtant. That's disgusting. C'est dégoûtant. That's disgusting. Even if you are not a tourist, you should never use this sentence. Yeah, that's not really nice to hear. Mon pays est meilleur. My country is better. Mon pays est meilleur. My country is better. This definitely sounds racist, so it's better to avoid it. Je préférerais être chez moi. I'd rather be back home. Je préférerais être chez moi. I'd rather be back home. Even if you like traveling, sometimes you feel like you prefer to be home. However, it's better to keep that thought to yourself. Yeah, that's true. Ta gueule. Shut up. Ta gueule, shut up. Never say this to anyone unless it's an intimate friend. Well, a lot of people use that when they argue with other people that they don't know. I have before. Je ne suis pas très intéressée par votre culture. I am not really interested in your culture. Je ne suis pas très intéressée par votre culture. I am not very interested in your culture. This is not offensive, but you'll make a bad impression. Right. Je n'aime pas rencontrer de nouvelles personnes. I don't like to meet new people. Je n'aime pas rencontrer de nouvelles personnes. I don't like to meet new people. Yeah, being honest is good, but sometimes you may sound rude. And I know what I'm talking about because I am really honest. On n'a qu'à aller manger à McDonald's. Let's just eat at McDonald's. On n'a qu'à aller manger à McDonald's. Let's just eat at McDonald's. French food culture is rich and people are proud of it. So avoid saying such a thing if you don't want to hurt your French friends' feelings. Yeah, but we do love burgers too, actually, so sometimes we go to McDonald's. Je m'en fous. Boring. Je m'en fous. Boring. This is a strong expression, and it's not only about boredom, it also means that you couldn't care less. In certain situations, this would be extremely offensive. Ça a un goût affreux. This tastes awful. Ça a un goût affreux. This tastes awful. If you can avoid saying this, at least try smiling when you say it. Je vais passer la journée à l'hôtel. I am going to spend the day in the hotel. Je vais passer la journée à l'hôtel. I'm going to spend the day at the hotel. People are not likely to get upset if you say this, but you won't look smart. Yeah, why go on a trip if you want to spend your day in the hotel? Useless, right?
In this video, you'll have a chance to test them out with a quiz. First, you'll see an image and hear a question. Next comes a short dialogue. Listen carefully and see if you can answer correctly. We'll show you the answer at the end. Are you ready?
Une dame demande un renseignement au libraire. Quel livre voulait voir la dame? Excusez-moi, je voudrais jeter un œil sur ce livre sur cette étagère.
Quel livre voulez-vous?
Le livre sur les voitures.
Un moment, s'il vous plaît. Celui-ci?
C'est ça.
Et voilà.
Quel livre voulait voir la dame? Une dame demande un renseignement au libraire. Quel livre voulait voir la dame? Excusez-moi, je voudrais jeter un œil sur ce livre sur cette étagère.
Quel livre voulez-vous?
Le livre sur les voitures.
Un moment, s'il vous plaît. Celui-ci?
C'est ça.
Et voilà.
Un homme et une femme regardent le menu d'un restaurant. Qu'a commandé le monsieur?
Que voulez-vous commander?
La pizza a l'air délicieuse. Je vais prendre ça.
J'ai déjà mangé une pizza hier, donc.
Ah, et pourquoi pas ce hamburger?
Ça m'a l'air bien. Je prends ça.
Qu'a commandé le monsieur? Un homme et une femme regardent le menu d'un restaurant. Qu'a commandé le monsieur?
Que voulez-vous commander?
La pizza a l'air délicieuse. Je vais prendre ça.
J'ai déjà mangé une pizza hier, donc.
Ah, et pourquoi pas ce hamburger?
Ça m'a l'air bien. Je prends ça.
Un homme est au téléphone avec une clinique. À quelle heure doit-il y être? Bonjour, comment puis-je vous aider?
Vous êtes ouvert jusqu'à quelle heure?
Jusqu'à 6 heures, mais il est préférable de venir avant 17h30.
Très bien, ok.
À quelle heure doit-il y être? Un homme est au téléphone avec une clinique. À quelle heure doit-il y être? Bonjour, comment puis-je vous aider?
Vous êtes ouvert jusqu'à quelle heure?
Jusqu'à 6 heures, mais il est préférable de venir avant 17h30.
Très bien, ok.
Un garçon lit son journal intime. Qu'a fait le garçon en premier aujourd'hui?
Il a fait très beau aujourd'hui. Je suis allé à la piscine cet après-midi et je suis allé voir un film ce soir. J'ai aussi étudié ce matin. C'était une très bonne journée.
Qu'a fait le garçon en premier aujourd'hui? Un garçon lit son journal intime. Qu'a fait le garçon en premier aujourd'hui?
Il a fait très beau aujourd'hui. Je suis allé à la piscine cet après-midi et je suis allé voir un film ce soir. J'ai aussi étudié ce matin. C'était une très bonne journée.
Une femme et un homme regardent une photo. Quelle photo regardent-ils? C'est la photo de l'équipe de foot de ton fils? Il est où?
Il est là.
Oh, et c'est le plus grand de l'équipe.
Il est plus grand que moi.
Quelle photo regarde-t-il? Une femme et un homme regardent une photo. Quelle photo regarde-t-il? C'est la photo de l'équipe de foot de ton fils? Il est où?
Il est là.
Oh, et c'est le plus grand de l'équipe.
Il est plus grand que moi.
Want to speak real French from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at FrenchPod101.com.
Top 10 life events you should be able to talk about in French. Let's begin. Naissance. Naissance. Birth. Quel is an interrogative adjective used in question to mean which or that. It has to agree with the noun that it precedes. With a feminine singular noun, it becomes quel. For example, date de naissance is feminine. That's why you have to use quel. For example, you can say quelle est votre date de naissance, s'il vous plaît. This means could you give me your date of birth, please? Être diplômé. Être diplômé. This means graduate. Graduation is an important goal in many people's life. For example, you can say après avoir été diplômé, je voyagerai 1 an partout dans le monde, which means after I graduate, I will travel the world for 1 year. Avoir un travail. Avoir un travail. This means get a job. For example, you can say j'ai eu mon premier travail à 18 ans, which means I got my first job when I was 18. This sentence uses the past tense passé composé. The passé composé is a compound past tense that consists of 2 elements: the present tense of an auxiliary or helping verb and a past participle. Most verbs use the helping verb avoir. However, some use être. Se fiancer. Se fiancer. This means to get engaged. For example, you can say tu es fiancé, félicitations, which means are you engaged? Congratulations. Fiancé is an adjective which means engaged. If the subject is feminine, it's fiancé. The next event is mariage. Mariage. This means wedding. For example, il y a beaucoup de mariages en juin parce que certaines personnes pensent que c'est un mois porte-bonheur pour l'amour. This means there are a large number of weddings in June, as some think it's a lucky month for love. Parce que introduces a cause. It simply translates to English as because. Parce que can also start a sentence. The next event is acheter une maison. Acheter une maison. This means buy a house. For example, j'achèterais une maison si j'avais plus d'argent means I would buy a house if I had more money. This sentence uses the conditional tense with acheter. The conditional is used to express what will happen given certain events or actions. Anniversaire de mariage. Anniversaire de mariage. This means anniversary. For example, pour un 25e anniversaire de mariage, on offre généralement de l'argent. Means silver is the traditional gift for the 25th wedding anniversary. In France, as well as in some other countries, the names of some anniversaries provide guidance for appropriate or traditional gifts for the spouses to give each other. For example, an 8-year anniversary is noces de coquelicot, poppy wedding. Prendre sa retraite. Prendre sa retraite. Retire. You can say mon grand-père a pris sa retraite à l'âge de 60 ans, which means my grandfather retired when he was 60. The retirement age is around 65 in France. It also depends on how many years you've been working. Voyager. Voyager. Travel. For example, you can say je rêve de voyager aux quatre coins du monde, which means I'm dreaming of traveling all around the world. Aux quatre coins du monde is an expression, literally it means to the four corners of the earth, and can be translated as all around the world. The next event is funérailles. Funérailles. Funeral. You can say les funérailles sont un moment de deuil et de souvenir, which means a funeral is a time to grieve and remember. Actually, funérailles is a formal word, and usually French people use the noun enterrement, which literally means burial. How to ask for and give directions. Let's begin. The first pattern is où est le, la, les. Où est le, la, les. Where is the? Où means where. There is a grave accent on où to tell the difference between où, which means or, but the pronunciation remains the same. Here is a simple sentence. Où est la banque, which means where is the bank. The next pattern is je dois aller au. Je dois aller au. This means I need to go to the. Je dois means I have to or I need to, and comes from devoir, which is an irregular verb. For example, you can say je dois aller au commissariat, which means I need to go to the police station. Comment puis-je aller au? Comment puis-je aller au? This means how do I get to the? Comment means how. Puis-je means can I. Aller means to go. And au is the preposition you need to use before masculine nouns. For example, you can say comment puis-je aller au musée? Which means how do I get to the museum? Est-ce qu'il y a un, une près d'ici? Est-ce qu'il y a un, une près d'ici? This means is there a near here? For example, est-ce qu'il y a une bibliothèque près d'ici? Means, is there a library near here? Don't get confused with librairie and bibliothèque. Librairie means bookshop. Library in French is bibliothèque. The next pattern is excusez-moi, savez-vous où est le, la? Excusez-moi, savez-vous où est le, la? This means, excuse me, do you know where the is? When you don't know the person you are speaking to, use vous instead of tu. Both mean you, but tu is informal and vous is formal. For example, you can say excusez-moi, savez-vous où est le parc? Which means excuse me, do you know where is the park? Est-ce que le, la, est loin d'ici? Est-ce que le, la, est loin d'ici? This means is the, far from here. Est-ce que literally means is it that. A convenience of everyday French is that a phrase can easily be turned from a statement into a question. For example, you can say est-ce que la poste est loin d'ici? Which means is the post office far from here? Tournez à gauche. Tournez à gauche. This means turn left. This is the basic indication to go left. The first word tourner means turn. It is followed by à, which means to. Lastly, we have gauche, which means left. For example, you can say tournez à gauche au deuxième pâté de maison, which means turn left at the second block. Tournez à droite. Tournez à droite. This means turn right. This is similar to turn left, you just have to substitute gauche with droite, which means right. For example, you can say tournez à droite au troisième feu de circulation, which means turn right at the third traffic light. Allez tout droit. Allez tout droit. This means go straight. This is the basic indication to go straight. The first word aller means go and is in the imperative form. The next two words, tout droit, mean straight. For example, you can say allez tout droit, puis tournez à gauche au prochain feu, which means go straight and turn left at the next light. Passez devant. Passez devant. This means go past. Passer means to pass and passer devant means to go past. Devant is a preposition meaning in front of. For example, you can say passer devant l'église, which means go past the church. À l'angle de. À l'angle de. This means at the corner of. This sentence may help you to indicate a particular place. For example, you can say c'est à l'angle de l'avenue, meaning it's at the corner of this avenue. An avenue is a big, wide street in an urban area. En face de. En face de. This means in front of. For example, la station de bus est en face du supermarché. This means the bus station is in front of the supermarket. Traveling in France by bus is easy and cheap. Every city has its own public transit system. Of course, it's easier if you speak a little French. Derrière. Derrière. This means behind. For example, le parking se trouve derrière la salle de cinéma. This means the parking lot is behind the movie theater. Se trouver is a transitive verb that means to be located somewhere or can be found. It can be about an object or a person. À côté de. À côté de. This means next to. À côté de means next to or nearby and is a very common word in French. It is used to indicate the relative physical positions of one thing to another. For example, you can say le restaurant est à côté du parc, which means the restaurant is next to the park. Entre. Entre. This means between. For example, you can say le magasin est entre le café et l'animalerie, which means the store is between the coffee shop and the pet store. In French, café refers to both the drink and the place where you can drink it. Animalerie is a pet shop. 10 phrases to help you in an emergency. Let's begin. Appelez la police, s'il vous plaît. Call the police, please. Use this phrase when you need someone to call the police. In France, you call 17. They should be called if there is a need of police intervention. For example, an accident on a public highway, public disorder, aggression, a robbery, a burglary, etc. Avez-vous de la fièvre? Do you have a fever? Use this phrase when you want to check someone's temperature. Generally, when saying this sentence, you place your hand on the person's forehead to feel if it's warm. Oh! J'ai perdu mon passeport. I lost my passport. Use this phrase when, unfortunately for yourself, you lose your passport. In this situation, find and contact the nearest embassy or consulate from your country. Ouf. Je pense que j'ai mangé quelque chose de mauvais. I think I ate something bad. Use this phrase when you are not feeling very well due to intestinal discomfort and you want something to help the pain. J'ai besoin d'un médecin. I need a doctor. Use this phrase when you are not feeling very well. If you are sick, you must see a doctor. Je ne retrouve pas le chemin jusqu'à mon hôtel. I can't find the way back to my hotel. Use this phrase when you are lost and can't go back to your hotel. In this situation, you can try to find a reputable store. Explain your situation to one of the employees and they will maybe help you. An offline map app is also useful. Y a-t-il une pharmacie dans le coin? Is there a pharmacy nearby? Use this phrase when you need to find a pharmacy without going too far. Do not hesitate to ask a shopkeeper around you. They might know better than the average person on the street. Pourriez-vous m'aider? Can you help me? Use this phrase when you need assistance and you want to ask someone. You can add excusez-moi, excuse me, at the beginning of the sentence to be more polite. Je suis perdu. I am lost. Use this phrase when you are lost. As I already said, do not hesitate to ask to someone like a storekeeper or a police officer to help you. J'ai besoin d'une ambulance. I need an ambulance. Use this phrase when you need an ambulance to come. Usually you can call 112, the European emergency number, even if you don't speak French.
Want to speak real French from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at FrenchPod101.com.
Want to finally start speaking in your target language? In this guide, you'll discover the top 7 ways to practice speaking on your own with our lessons. Let's begin. Number 1, shadowing. Shadowing is a proven learning technique where all you do is repeat what you hear in order to practice speaking. So access any audio or video lesson on the site and press the play button to start. Then, as you listen or watch, just repeat the conversations. Or, even easier, read along out loud with the dialogue section. The script is right there in front of you. With our lessons, you can master entire conversations, just like that. Number 2, read out loud. I just mentioned it, but reading out loud is another powerful tactic and deserves its own mention. With every lesson, you get written transcripts and translations. So, as you play the lesson, read the dialogue out loud as you hear it. Why? By reading out loud, you're also practicing your speaking skills. You can do this with the lesson notes, the lesson transcript, or the dialogue tool. With the dialogue tool, you can listen to each line again and again, and repeat out loud until you master them all. Number 3, speed up your reading to speed up your speaking. Being able to speak without thinking is a sign of language mastery. If you're talking to a native and can respond quickly, they'll assume that you're fairly fluent. How can you do this? When you read out loud, try increasing your speed a little bit every time. So, start by reading with the dialogue tool. If you're like most learners, you'll read the first line slowly. That's because you're still getting used to the words, which is okay. Reread it. On your second try, you know most of the words, and you'll read a little faster. Reread it again. On your third try, you'll be even faster, at a native speaker's speed. And being able to read these phrases out loud and fast will help you speak fast. Number 4, Record and compare yourself with native speakers. In order to sound like a native speaker, you must imitate native speakers. So here's how. Access the voice recorder, which is in the Dialogue Study tool in every lesson. Click on the microphone icon. Listen to the native speaker's audio, and then record yourself. You can then compare the two recordings side by side, and practice and try again and again until you perfect your pronunciation. Number 5, get feedback from our Premium Plus teacher. If you're learning by yourself and don't have access to real teachers, then you can always get feedback from our Premium Plus teachers. With the My Teacher tool, you can record yourself speaking and send the audio file to the teacher. They'll review it and tell you what to improve and how. That's it. Number 6, level up your speaking with Premium Plus assignments. With Premium Plus, you can also get assignments that cover reading, writing, listening, and even speaking from your teacher. These assignments can be tailored to your goals and needs. You get a new one every week, or anytime you're ready for a new one. Number 7, get even more lessons in the lesson library. If you want even more lessons on speaking and conversations, visit our lesson library and under Category, choose Conversation. You'll get all of the pathways and lessons that are focused on speaking.
5 sentence patterns for beginners. Let's start. Je m'appelle. My name is. You can use this when you introduce yourself to others. Using this pattern, you can say Je m'appelle Claude, which means my name is Claude. Je suis de. I am from. Use this when people ask you where you're from or when you want to include it as a part of your self-introduction. Où est? Where is? Here we have où est, which means where is. For example, you can use it to say où est la gare, which means where is the station. It's very useful when you are lost in France. J'aime. I like. When you want to express that you like something, you can use this pattern. J'aime. In French, to like and to love are both translated with the verb aimer. If you want to sound less passionate, you can add the adjective bien. For example, j'aime bien le chocolat. If chocolate is really your thing, you can say j'adore le chocolat. Adorer is a verb we can translate as to love or to adore. In a sentence, you can say j'aime le chocolat to mean I like chocolate. Je n'aime pas. I don't like. You can use this pattern when you want to express that you don't like something. For example, you can say je n'aime pas les choux de Bruxelles, which means I don't like Brussels sprouts. Top 10 language learning strategies. So let's begin. Liez-vous d'amitié ou mettez-vous en couple avec une personne française. Befriending or dating someone who speaks French. So I think that's a really great strategy to learn the language if you speak every day with a person that is your friend or your boyfriend. Regardez des films ou écoutez de la musique en français. Watching movies or listening to music in French. So I think it can help you to learn the language more easily if every day you watch some movies, even with subtitles. Like this, it helps you to see what is written and everything. Lisez des journaux français ou magazines français. Read French newspapers or French magazines. So that will help you very much with the language because you will see words that you've never seen before and eventually you can look them up in the dictionary and like this you can know what it means. Enregistrez votre voix et comparez votre prononciation avec des Français natifs. Record your voice and compare your pronunciation with native French speakers. So I think that really helps with the accent. Like this, you can hear how you sound. You can watch my videos again and like this, you can compare how I speak with how you speak and you'll see if it matches or not. Téléchargez des pistes de dialogue et écoutez les conversations françaises. download dialogue tracks and listen to French conversations. So that will really help you with the accents, the way everybody talks. You will be able to learn new words and you will be able to, for example, if they ask a question, you're able to answer. Répétez les expressions que vous entendez à voix haute, encore et encore. Repeat the phrases that you hear out loud again and again. So I think that's a really good strategy in order to learn French, to repeat over and over again what you just listened to or what you just learned, because it will help you to have that in your mind and you'll be able to say it more easily. Revoyez toutes les leçons sur FrenchPod101.com pour les maîtriser complètement. Review all the lessons on FrenchPod101.com to master them completely. That will really help you to speak better French if you go back and review all the videos that I have done or other French native have done. And yeah, like this you will be able to master it really completely and you'll be able to use it in quite a few different situations. Lisez les phrases lentement au début, après relisez-les et augmentez votre vitesse. Read sentences slowly at first, then reread them and increase your speed. I think that's a really thing to do because at first you want to have the pronunciation right. So it's better, to decompose the word little by little, and then when you're going to be more comfortable, you'll be able to say it like really quickly. Donnez-vous des petits et mesurables objectifs pour apprendre avec des dates limites propres. Set small and measurable learning goals with your personal deadlines. So I think that's really good if you give yourself some deadline and do not try to learn too much at first because you might just quit if you do that. So that's better if you give yourself, little by little to learn and give yourself deadline as well. That's a really, really good thing to see if you improve or not. Essayez des leçons qui sont plus difficiles pour vous surpasser et vous améliorer rapidement. Try harder lessons to challenge yourself and improve faster. So at first you're going to learn those quick and simple words, but then you want to challenge yourself and learn more complex sentences, for example. So that's better if you try to learn harder lessons.
And today's theme is negative adjectives. Let's start on a bad feeling. Triste. It's sad. I didn't get to eat today yet, so I'm sad. La pluie me rend triste. Rain makes me sad. Is that simple enough? Next one is difficile, difficult. Difficile, making simple sentences is difficult. I don't even remember French now. Apprendre le français n'est pas difficile. Learning French is not difficult. Hey, laid, ugly. Why? Why do you come up with those words? It's mean. Cet endroit est vraiment laid. This place is ugly. Yeah, you can use it for people and places. Sale, dirty. Mes vêtements sont sales. My clothes are dirty. Well, not today, hopefully. Maybe. Cher, expensive. Ce sac est cher. This bag is expensive. And yeah, I did something simple.
Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.